Welcome back to First Takedown Podcast, episode 24. I'm Alex, alongside of Hunter. Hunter, how we doing? On the road again, huh?
Yeah, another hotel room, but good, man. It's a huge week of wrestling this week, so no time to waste. No time
No.
to sit and talk about anything else. Last weekend was kind of slow, but this weekend really makes up for it.
It does. Took a week off. We're having, I was about to make up technical difficulties. We were just busy, had stuff going on, and it was like you said, a week off. But this week we've got some really good wrestling. I mean, high school wrestling, right? We're in like the end of, you're starting to get into duels and region tournaments and close to end of the year. Now in college, we're at these really, really good dual tournaments where we see, or dual matches where we see some potential matches for like the first time, some guys that are going to have some matches in these conference tournaments, and kind of give us a little sneak preview at the end of the year. But you're right. Got some three big ones that we want to highlight today. First of all, number 1 versus number 2, Penn State and Ohio State, which is happening on Friday night, which will be a good one. Then we've got Iowa and Michigan, and then we're going to do Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
cool with you?
It's definitely cool with me, considering we talked about it beforehand. But yeah, it's definitely good with me. I will say, I don't really feel like you gave Ohio State, Penn State, the intro that they needed. Number 1 and number 2, both undefeated, both teams looking insane right now. Can Ohio State really do anything? We're going to find out, and it's going to be good, man. I mean, we've got some, I feel like there's not a lot of times where you go into a Penn State match, like you go into a match against Penn State and you've got like a handful of matches where either they are not favored or they're toss-ups. Like anytime you go into a match and or into a duel and they've got like 4 matches where they're either not favored or it's a toss-up, that's kind of like uncharted territories for them recently. So we're going to get to see that and how that plays out. I think on paper, and we can get into it right away, but on paper, they're probably not favored in 2 matches, and there's probably 2 matches that we would call toss-ups.
Yeah. And, I think I got the wind knocked out of my sails just a little bit here in the Brandon Cannon news, just because, we'll go through the duel, but I'm just like, when you have a dynasty like Penn State, it's so fun to see the number 1, number 2 teams and saying, all right, here's what could happen. Now, if all this happened, we could potentially see Ohio State, which is a really good dual team, be able to win this match. And that's just a big loss for them, is that Brandon Cannon at 157, but jumping right through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people in the media felt like that was going to happen. He hasn't been wrestling. He's been hurt. And so it's unfortunate because Brandon Cannon up to this point has wrestled so well throughout the season, and you just kind of figure, okay, well, this is going to be a really good match. And they kind of need Brandon Cannon, honestly, to pull this duel off, I feel like, and they don't have him. So that's tough for them. The 2 guys that they do have that we're going to start off with right away. I mean, 2 toss-up matches right away at 125 and 133. How do you see maybe, we've kind of seen Ohio State have this run all year because all these guys are undefeated except for Bouzakis lost to his teammate Brendan McCrone. But Bouzakis, Davino, and Mendez are all undefeated, right? But those 2 guys are going to run into 2 guys that are also undefeated, Lillidahl and Blaze. Now, obviously, Mendez won't, but, Ohio State's kind of been able to set the tone of the duel early in a lot of duels that they I think back to that national duels match at Iowa and just how they were able to set the tone for the rest of that duel and how it played out. It really did make a huge difference, in my opinion, on how the rest of that duel played out and how some of the duels play out with that team. And so I just wonder if they're not able to, if it feels like they need both of them to have any chance, but really they need one to carry any momentum past 141.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where my head goes is that Buzakis, like, that's a game changer. If Buzakis is able to do what, Buzakis does and is able to get on a like Lilidal on his back or even get back points, if he was able to get a pin just because he could do
his
it,
style.
that would be like fireworks to get the match started. And like, to your point, just be the momentum that I think Ohio State would need, and that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be sweet. I think it'd be cool to see. I mean, we saw it last year, right? Brendan McCrone actually pinned Luke Lilidal in the duel last year. Now, that duel didn't have as many, maybe, there wasn't much hype around it just because Ohio State wasn't performing like they are this year. But yeah, I mean, that was a huge, huge win that, kind of flipped that duel on its head right off the rip. Can they pull some magic out like that? That would be really big for them. Let's say that they do. Let's say that Buzakis, wins just a regular decision. And let's say that Davino wins a regular decision. And let's say that Jesse Mendez majors. Let's just say he gets a major, right? They're up 10-0 going into 149. Would be kind of insane, right? Would be kind of nuts for that to be the case. But let's just say that happens. Where does Ohio State get the rest of their points, right? I just have a hard time believing that they're the team that's the most equipped to pull this off.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they're not the second best team. I just don't know that after Feldman, let's say they win Feldman, right? That's 4 matches. If they take those 4, they're going to have a win at 84.
Yeah.
Or 74.
Yeah.
And I just don't see, with Brandon Cannon, I'm almost okay, yeah, I see the path. You win 25, 33, 41, 285, and somehow Buzakis gets a pin over Lilidal, or Jesse Mendez gets a tech fall or a major, and you limit their bonus points. That's the way. But without Cannon, man, it feels really hard for me to get there with this team.
Yeah.
Pulling the upset.
Yeah, in the way they're the bottom matches are toss-ups, but then the 4 of the top 5 weights, you have the number 1 guys, and so you have to get some sort of upsets there.
Yeah, you got to beat a number 1 guy in the country.
Yeah.
Which is just hard. I mean, you're going to have to do it at 65, 74, 84, 97. Because with a backup, you're probably giving up bonus to PJ Duke, right? Unless you can pull out, can Ethan Stiles beat Shane Van Ness? I mean, it doesn't look like that's their trajectory of the year, but never say never, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that in this scenario, everything would have to go right for Ohio State to pull it off. I just don't see it. I don't see them really even getting close. And, you look at DraftKings, the line is 16.5, Penn State. And it's juiced way towards Penn State. So that means that basically the public thinks that they're already hitting Penn State at a lower number or at that number at 16.5. So that means the public thinks that they're going to win by more than 17 points. And I mean,
possible.
I think that is giving Penn State both the toss-ups. I think that's giving them 25 and 33. And giving Ohio State 41 and 285. I think that's what's going into that. The people that are betting that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, just to kind of go down, I know we hit on what could potentially happen with these matchups and the upsets that would need to happen, but just, if you had to choose these matchups, what do you think is going to happen between the couple toss-ups here at the beginning?
Yes. I just think that Nick Buzakis is the strongest 25-pounder. And he's gonna throw some crazy stuff at Lilidal that he's not used to seeing, I think. Even though Luke Lilidal has a lot of he's got a lot of experience already, even as a sophomore. Just wrestling, U20s and making cadet teams and all that. I mean, he's got a ton of experience. But it almost reminds me of I'm not saying that Nick Bouzakis is like Spencer Lee. I'm not saying he's that level of wrestler. I think he poses some similar challenges to Spencer because of his ability to kind of get out of bad positions with his strength and how he can just force a lot of positions with his strength. But Luke Lillidahl is at home. I think he's a little bit more experienced in the sense of just like Bouzakis. I've seen him like go smoke guys, but I haven't seen him like win a close one. And I don't know that this is like, I think if Bouzakis wins, he does something crazy. He hits him with a big move. But I just think Lillidahl is going to figure out a way to win.
Yeah.
And he's going to stay consistent in the hand fight, and he's going to get to his ties. He's going to get to legs eventually. Maybe the tactic isn't to get to legs super early, to create a bunch of scrambles, but maybe just tire the guy out with your hand fight. We'll see. I mean, Penn State has pretty good coaches, so maybe they'll figure it out.
Who do they have? Well, I think you're kind of right. I mean, I think Bouzakis. I think it's either Penn or.
I love how you're just like selling out for the Penn for Bouzakis.
Yeah,
it's either
I want it. He's gonna.
Or
he's
it's
gonna
a Lillidahl win.
Yeah, I think so. All right, let's get into the youngins. I know they had wrestled in freestyle, right? Marcus Blaze and Ben Davino.
They've wrestled a lot. They wrestled in the Ironman finals a couple years ago, 3 years ago. I think Davino won that match, if I'm not mistaken. But they wrestled this summer in freestyle, and Marcus beat Ben pretty good in freestyle. But Ben Davino's a different cat right now, especially in folk style. He looks awesome. I think this is a really close match. I mean, one takedown match, and I'll give it to Marcus Blaze, but I don't feel good about the pick. I really don't. There's something about Davino that just him and Marcus, they figure out ways to win matches. It's kind of when the irresistible force meets the, what is it, Alex?
Unstoppable object.
Immovable object.
Immovable. That's what it is.
And to me, Marcus is more of the immovable object because he literally he puts his hands and his feet together like this in his stance, and he stands in the center, and you can't move him. You can't get him out of that position. And he just stands there. And then he scores. And he's very solid. He's very meat and potatoes, but he's super solid.
Get it together. Smoking so much.
Yeah, I know. A lot of Mardi Gras going on down here in New Orleans next week, so I think I'm maybe getting some secondhand of whatever's going on out there. I'm gonna take Blaze. Part of me came into this wanting to be like, I'll give one team one, I'll give one team the other, but that's not really what I think happens. So I'm gonna go with what I actually think happens.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of what you got to do. I think that I've thought the same. I'm like thinking so much about the path that Ohio State could win, and so kind of not letting that mess up my actually looking at this match, looking at it at Bryce Jordan. Yeah. So, well, let's go through those. So you're saying you're with the people potentially of them taking those two.
I am in the sense of that's what I think will happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, to bet it, you're banking on those are right, that you get both of those right. And if that doesn't happen, if either one of those goes wrong, you probably don't win the bet. At 16.5, that's a lot. That's a lot of bonus to get in seven matches, basically, because I think that would say that you're basically losing 285, you're losing 41. And then you're losing, if you lose one of 25 or 33, you're going to have to go get a lot of bonus in those other 7 matches.
Yeah. Well, then we won't have to spend as much time on these next few matches, but let's just kind of go through it so we can kind of see what that score could potentially be. But Jesse Mendez, Braden Davis, do you think Mendez kind of gets bonus points here? I know for them to have any stand of victory, you would have to have it, but do you think that's what's going to happen?
I do. But I could easily just see it being like a 7-2 match and just kind of I could see it going that way too. I could see Braden coming out and wrestling like he did against Brock Hardy and just firing, and going after Jesse Mendez. I don't know if that's going to earn him any points or not, but, I think that that's a strategy that was working against Brock Hardy until he ended up getting a little bit tired and getting pinned and gotten caught in that position. But, sorry.
You're good.
We got to just cut the coughs out. I don't know if we can do that or not, but
I'll type in cough, cut out any coughs.
It's because I don't have water. I have this water, but it's empty, and I just had another one. Anyways, so I think that Ethan Styles, I think that Jesse will get bonus points, just a major decision. I think that Ethan Styles, if Ohio State can rattle off 3 straight wins, that's the opportunity. I think that you're like, okay, the crowd's silenced a little bit. Can you come in and what you need to do is slow Shane Van Ness down, don't get into a whole frenzy of just a score fest. I think you slow the match down quite a bit. But I don't know. What do you think about Mendez and then Styles?
Yeah, I do think Mendez is, just how much he's been scoring, I think he's going to pick up a major decision, even if it's the very end of the match, kind of what he's been doing. And then Shane Van Ness, Ethan Styles, last time they wrestled, I think it was it says March 20th. That would be at the national tournament, probably.
Yep.
I bet Shane Van Ness probably give up the first takedown and then come back. And I don't know if he'll get a pin this time, but I do think he's going to at least win by a decision. All right. This is that 57 PJ Duke wrestling, potentially, or one of the backups on Ohio State's team. Hey, maybe it could be a Tennessee boy, Landon DeSalle. Shout out. Maybe he'll shock the world, I believe. But this is where Penn State, probably going to start picking up some good momentum, getting some bonus points from here, and the next match with Messenbrink and Paddy Gallagher.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ohio State, I think this is where any chance of anything comes to an end. I think they're going to rattle off. I think Penn State's going to rattle off 5 matches in a row at least, starting at 57. 49, potentially, maybe it's 6 in a row, but I don't really see much of a world where PJ, Mitchell, unless Mitchell starts singing before the match. Have you seen this video?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Then maybe. Because that was
Benson Boone, wasn't it?
I was beside myself.
Yeah, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I just have a hard time believing a guy that has that much wrestling ability. He's the best. That he looks like that and sings like that. It doesn't line up. Doesn't look that way.
No, I've seen you sing, multiple times, but
horrible.
You're not gonna do that on your
but
TikTok
also not
live.
that good around.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. I'm watching that. I'm like, well, this guy beat me up.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's another thing is I've been singing a lot lately, hence the cough and the laryngitis that's going on, selling out shows, but I'm not that good a wrestler. So that's really what it comes down to.
I guess. Well, you got Levi, Karshlow, they've wrestled a good bit. I feel like that'd be another closer match that Levi pulls. Rocco Welsh, have they wrestled Rocco Welsh and Fishback at all? I don't think they have.
I don't think so. No, because Rocco was down at 74. And I'm pretty sure Fishback was up at 97.
I think. Yeah.
At one point.
I think Rocco's been looking good, going to pull that one away. And then I think that the next bonus you probably get from Penn State is that 97 at Josh Barr.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an ugly one for Ohio State. I think that ends up in a tech fall. Maybe a major, but probably a tech just because Josh Barr is a psycho. And that'll be the end of the night for Ohio State. I think it's going to be, even though I don't want this to happen, I legitimately think it's 29-6.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. If they're pulling those two, 25 and 33, then yeah, they're winning by 23 points.
Or 29-7. I said Mendez was going to get bonus.
Oh, yeah. Which, That's the spread right now, minus 16.5 Ohio State. And as we go through it, like while I was listening before and like thinking of it, I'm like, oh, Ohio State's got 16.5. Now as we go through it, I'm like, oh, I don't know
No
if they do.
cannon, and then you've got to win. You've got to win the toss-ups, or one of them. And so, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look good to me on paper for them. I think that you know with Cannon in the lineup, they have a much better shot. Maybe even at home or like in a tournament setting, maybe they have a better chance, like a small tournament setting where they could maybe just like, I don't know why they would have a better chance in a tournament. It's like all Penn State's guys are ranked number 1. So you would think they would just like be in the finals, but.
Well, something I want to get your opinion on, just like the bet as a whole, if it's something you would even try to kind of go forward. But something to think about too is that 125. I mean, it was originally like, hey, this is going to be the tone setter for the match, but now it's honestly a big one with this over and under too. If Buzakis was able to, pull out a pin or even just like a win there, that's kind of a big swing too. So what's your thoughts on the actual bet?
I think you're betting on one. Like, I don't really know that you're betting on 41 to 285 as much as you're betting on just 125 and 133. I mean, that's how I really feel when I look at it. Is I think you're more so betting on those two matches and what you see of the outcome of those two, or maybe you include heavyweight in that as well, because some people would say that's a toss up. I think Feldman should win that match, personally. But, how do you look at those matches? If you look at those matches favorably for Ohio State, then I think that you should bet Ohio State. If you look at those matches favorably for Penn State, then I think you should probably just not bet it, because it's up to like minus 165 anyways. It's juiced to Penn State as it is. I probably would stay away, even though like I would pick Penn State. I don't like the price of the duel.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. Well, let's move on unless you got something else there. I know we spent a good amount of time now, and it's worth it. It's the 1 and 2.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
Rutgers at Michigan State minus 24.5.
Whoa, just coming out with it. Is that the gamble line you're throwing in there right now?
That's it.
There you go.
That's
so this is how we got to get people to watch the whole video. So like they were like, oh wait, I gotta wait till Sid gets my prediction. I'm gonna watch this Ohio State versus Penn State, and then they're like, oh, they dipped out. But now they had to wait and see this.
I don't know what gets us more views on YouTube. If they stop the video here, is it a full view? If it is, then whatever.
That's fine.
You can turn it off.
We can do
it. But come on, guys, you want to make it to the Oklahoma State Virginia Tech preview.
Right.
I mean, that means a whole lot, because we're gonna motor through this Iowa, Michigan. Penn State, Ohio State. Obviously, we're gonna show that a lot of love. Oklahoma State, we're homers. Of course, we're gonna show that a lot of love.
Go Pokes.
Iowa, Michigan, not that concerned.
Not that concerned. Let's do a quick run through. I mean, right now on DraftKings, Michigan minus 1.5 is what we're at.
Yep. Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But when you look at the matchups, it's pretty close. You feel good about if Dean Peterson wrestles that Iowa's favored at 25, 33, 65, 74. I would say they're favored. It's maybe a slight favorite. And then that's pretty much it. They're favored at 3, maybe 4 weights. And then I would say that Michigan is favored at not very many. I would say
heavyweight.
2 with 97 and heavyweight.
Yeah.
And then the rest to me are just toss-ups.
Yeah.
I'd probably bet Iowa. I just don't know if they're ever that far down. I don't see them losing this duel, but it does worry me. I think I'd probably just be like, okay, Iowa's going to figure it out. And they're underdogs. Like, I'm getting a 1.5 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Dean Peterson could get bonus. Drake Ayala could get bonus.
That's what I was just at to. Like, the guys that are favored in Iowa are guys like right now, and WrestleStat doesn't have them getting bonus, and they're guys that are probably going to get bonus in these matches.
Right. I'm worried about, like, I don't know if Nasir Bailey wrestles. We need to look at the Iowa probables and get a better understanding. But anyways, let's just back it up a little bit, and we don't have to go through every match. This is going to be a close duel. There's a lot of toss-up matches in this duel. 41, 49, 57, not 65, 74, 84. I mean, all of those are toss-ups. There's a ton of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I switched over. Yeah, and I mean, the one that I'm looking at too that'll be a good one is that 157. Jordan Williams, and I say that just because that last match that he had with PJ Duke, Catrabone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catrabone.
Yeah, I was talking with the guy who said he wrestled his dad when he was in college. Said it was like the nicest guy, but then would just like shake your hand and talk to you before a match. Would say, "Hey, good luck to you out there, dude," and then would wrestle and beat you up.
Just dominate you.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's tough.
That's tough. That is tough. And then probably seeing Gabe Arnold again at 84, I'm guessing. Another opportunity for him to get, a pretty big win. If he can come out of this, I know he took a loss to Fishback and to McAnally, but he beat Silas Allred. If he can beat Brock Mantanona, I mean, it's two pretty damn good wins.
The Iowa website right now is saying Cale Peterson.
Yeah, that worries me for Iowa.
Yeah, Cale Peterson.
That worries me for Iowa. I don't feel good about him beating Dylan Ragusin.
Yeah, released yesterday, and they don't even have like most of them have like an or, and it just says him. So yeah, that's a big
one
for them.
That is, but
then it's
I think it's
Michigan.
A close duel. I think it's either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, do you still? I mean, knowing that information, you still think Michigan -1.5, or now you?
No,
Iowa
I
plus?
Was leaning Iowa, and now with that info, I probably would more so not feel great about betting it.
Yeah.
More so than like to swap and take Michigan, because I was feeling better the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But what can Cale Peterson do? I mean, heck, he can. Dylan Ragusin hasn't shown that he's the same guy at 141.
No, definitely not out of that matchup at all. Just gonna see how he performs there. I will say before we get into this Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech match, I've been trying outside of Hunters, outside of the gamble line. It's kind of fun just to try to pick a whole bunch of duels, do a nice little parlay. It's now happened twice, and maybe we've lost the viewers, so they're not even listening to this, so it's fine.
Correct. It's okay.
It's happened twice where I've done that, where I've gotten every single duel wrong. And so now this next time I do it, I'm just going to, whatever I'm thinking, I'm going to do the opposite, I think. And we're going to be guaranteed something.
Yeah.
So, but it turns out it's hard out here. It's hard to really predict these team scores.
They're not, if it was easy, everybody would make money off of them.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Didn't win anything in the Super Bowl either. That's fine.
Nope.
All right. You got anything else for Iowa, Michigan? You good?
No, don't care about that duel.
All right. Let's get to it. Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech. This is a Sunday, 11 o'clock.
Heck
what did you say last time? Sunday for you to crack down. I don't know what you said.
Just like, hunker down, get banged up, put some bets down.
That's
get banged up.
Get banged up on a Sunday afternoon.
Get banged up on a Sunday afternoon and put some bets down. It's great.
Well, again, starting with some fireworks at 125 here. This one isn't on DraftKings, right? This one doesn't have a line out there.
Not yet. It probably will come up, but it's not yet.
Yeah. Just want our viewers to know, so they're not missing out something whenever they listen to this. But starting out with some fireworks again, Spratley, Ventresca. Well, I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I mean, the track record for Ventresca is really good here. He's beaten Spratley the few times they've wrestled. So you got to feel pretty solid about him winning this match. I mean, he hasn't shown anything that has shown that he's different from the guy that he was last year. So I would feel good about Ventresca. I mean, I think we really get into an exciting piece of the duel when we get into 33. I mean, obviously 25 is, I just see that being a very low scoring, and I actually think I had that wrong.
Yeah, I was
beat,
going to say, that's what I was about to ask. You mean Spratley, right? I think it's won both of those matchups.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that was the case. I remember they wrestled in the semis last year. Wow.
There you go.
I'm still picking Van Treska.
I mean, it could very well. Very well.
He looks good this year, man. He really does. He looks like a legit national title threat, in my opinion. And I never really thought about him that way before.
And he's still got another year. It's crazy.
Which, yeah, if he does, I do.
Well, hey, 133.
Let's talk. I mean, what are we doing? It's Ben DeVino, Marcus Blaze, Jax Forrest, Aaron Seidel, 4 freshmen possibly facing off this weekend. I've heard some rumblings that maybe Jax isn't going to go, which would be awful. That would suck, but we've already been denied Evan Frost, Jax Forrest. I would not be surprised if we were denied Aaron Seidel, Jax Forrest. But if you want to go watch him wrestle, go watch the Pennsylvania State Finals last year. Correct. Yep. Jax Forrest wins a pretty close match there, but he does win it nonetheless. And so what has Seidel done between now and then? I mean, obviously we know what Jax has done. He's been kind of in the limelight from a freestyle perspective and all that. What has Aaron Seidel done? Oh, he just has 100% bonus rate as a freshman. Insane.
That's pretty wild. If they don't go Jax Forrest, is it does Ramirez, he still has,
I think
one
Ramirez, I don't think he has another date. So they'd have to run somebody else out there, which they could do. I don't know. I think wrestling Jax is the best move, but maybe, like I said, these coaches have their plans, man. You're not going to I wouldn't question if they didn't wrestle Jax for what their long-term plan is, but I've heard that he's possibly not going.
Yeah, and that is the fun part of it. I mean, these coaches obviously know so much more than us and have just so much more of future plans of what
they're in the room. They're watching these guys. So that's the biggest thing is they're watching to see, how's the guy looking right now? Is he, I mean, obviously we know Jax is ready. I'm not saying Jax isn't ready. It's just, what is Jax ready for? Are we just going to use his last day on Aaron Seidel and then he's done and he's going back in a red shirt? Or are we trying to get him more matches because he's going to go at the national? I mean, there's just a lot of things to think about.
Or do you save him for next Sunday versus Iowa?
Against Drake.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Real quick, 41, I think Vega beats Tom Crook. Crook's looked okay this year. Not great off red shirt, but Vega's looked awesome. Don't see that changing right now. Colin Guy took a loss last week to Winton Dinkins of Virginia. So that's an interesting note. Casey Swiderski's actually kind of turned his season around. He looks a little bit better now.
Yeah.
So that's also.
I was just going to say he's wrestled. I was saying he's wrestled a lot better. I feel like previously he was wrestling close matches, but then losing at the end. Now I feel like he's switched around, wrestling close still, but then making sure that he's doing the difference that makes him win matches.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Colin Guy there with zero confidence.
Hey, that's okay.
No, you know what? I don't know, man. That's a really tricky one. Yeah, I'm gonna take Colin Guy for now, but I really don't feel good about that.
But more than zero confidence. Or still zero?
Zero. Zero confidence. 7, Robidoux looked awesome. Ethan Miller looked great last year. He's looked not amazing this year compared to how he looked last year. I know he was banged up a little earlier in the season, but he hasn't looked himself, or at least what he was at the level that he was last year.
Yeah.
And Robidoux just looks incredible.
I need some more Miller time here.
I know.
I needed to come back.
We're running out of Miller time.
All right, 65, Lockett, Mac Church.
Yeah, and I feel good about Lockett's looked awesome, especially lately. So no reason to think he doesn't get the win there. Facundo looks similar trajectory to what Swiderski does, right? He's kind of on the up and up, and DeSante's been up and down. Love that kid, but he's kind of been up and down all season. And then let's see, we're going to get into Zach Ryder if he's healthy, which we'll see. And then Jaden Bullock couple of transfers. Feel good about Zach Ryder there, but Jaden Bullock's a tough guy, tough out. And then really get into two of the last matches that I'm excited about is Cody Merrill, Sonny Sasso. I'm excited about that match to really feel where both of these guys are. Merrill has kind of shown that he's almost like a barometer for the weight, that you have to get to this level to be able to cross this next level. And Sonny Sasso has been this up and down, like crazy good performance, and then kind of, whoa, what just happened when he gets teched by Posado? Or majored, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then two exciting guys with Doucette and Jimmy Mullen. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this duel a lot. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Cowboys against another top-tier team.
Yeah. And looking at it, I don't know, maybe it was the Intermat ranking, something that Oklahoma State posted, us being homers here. They've got everybody is like, you got a couple number 2s, 6, 7, like I think maybe there's like 2 of them were 9. Yeah, no, I did it. Might be. But the only one they had outside of it technically was Jax Forrest right now, but I don't think he's outside of that All-American status. But so then my brain starts going, ooh, could there be 2 teams? They got 10 All-Americans in one season.
It's possible. I think this team has a much harder route to doing that than, just mainly because I think that you got a guy like Spratley. He could, but it's 125. Got a guy like Jax. Like, I love Jax, and I think Jax could win a national title. But I also think that, like, we just don't know. He's kind of an unknown a little bit at the weight. Who am I kidding? He would place if he wrestled in the tournament. He'd probably win. He's my favorite wrestler. Swiderski. Facundo.
Ryder.
Zach Ryder, Connor Doucette. Like, those guys are ranked there, but they're not like the Penn State guy. Like, the Penn State guys, you feel really good about most of them except for like Braden Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, you're like, oh yeah, he's gonna place, no problem.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are all
maybe not Mirasola, but
yeah, he could run into a couple of the heavyweights that could be a tough tournament. But these guys are like right on the edge. Like, there's so many that are right on the edge too. That would be tough.
Exactly.
But just something that I was thinking about. Well, I mean, this line isn't out for this match, but still thinking Oklahoma State pulls this one away pretty good.
Yeah, I do. I feel good about Oklahoma State. I'd love to see this line and see what Vegas is thinking on this one, because there are a few toss-up matches, and if Jax doesn't go, then that really swings the line.
Yeah, it really does, because that's probably another bonus point victory.
It's probably 5 points. It's probably a tech fall. It's probably a get on top and rip your arms off.
Pretty wild.
But
crazy. exciting one to get banged up on a Sunday afternoon. Got to. Well, I know. So just to recap, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Iowa. We said that gamble line was Rutgers minus 24.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling good about. I mean, they could wrestle some backups, but I feel like they're almost superior at every weight against Michigan State. And so even if they wrestle, a red shirt or a backup here or there, I still think they have chances of winning those matches. And they don't have to win every match, but I feel like they could.
Yeah, definitely. And then the only other one on there right now is Oklahoma, Missouri. But I'm sure there's going to be some more up there. As we get into some more duels. There's still more duels tomorrow and more duels on Sundays. But some exciting ones. Number 1, I'll give you some more energy for the end of this. Number 1 and number 2 of the national wrestling. No, I lost it.
No.
I lost it.
No.
Number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2 wrestling Friday night. That's the big one, the headline. That's why we spent so much time. Penn State, Ohio State. Going to be some really, really good matches.
Yeah, you wore your blue shirt for Penn State.
I did.
Young Guns. Gotcha. I couldn't see
Guns.
it. Yeah.
Freestyle Greco, baby. It's almost now. There's like a month left, but almost time. Well, hey, there's some good matches. Excited to finish this season strong and this dual season, and starting to get into some of that conference tournament stuff here shortly. but some really good
Yeah.
previews of what is to come with some of these matches, and hopefully we'll get some answers too about some of these guys, these young guys that like potentially redshirting, not like Jackson.
Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of answers on Jax, and then
Yeah.
we'll obviously preview the Oklahoma State Iowa duel next week.
Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys listening. Follow, like, subscribe, watch the whole video, watch halfway through. I don't care. Go Pokes. All right. Peace.
Later.